Welcome to 30 Days of Marketing Mavens. 30 days, 30 experts, 30 marketing niches. Brought to you by Profit Master Business Solutions. More leads, more sales, and more revenue for your small or medium-sized business. Click findnewrevenue.com to learn more. Now here's your host, Howard Walpoff.
Welcome back to 30 Days of Marketing Mavens. Thank you so much for joining us again. I'm Howard Walpoff. This is brought to you by Profit Master Business Solutions. And today I'm really excited. I've known this guy for a while. His name is Michael Kawula. I've known him as a real online connector, but he's really venturing out on some really great projects right now that really teach people the essence of marketing. And Mike, thank you for joining the conversation.
Thanks for having me. I'm super excited.
So you have this new venture that you're about to get out there. I'm not even going to try to explain it. Why don't you share exactly what this project is?
Yeah, sure. So, I've been an online entrepreneur, but even before online, I've owned several different businesses. I remember it was 2000 and what was it? September 10th, 2001, right before 9/11, unfortunately.
Okay.
Came home, learned I was going to have my first child. That next day, 9/11, I went in and resigned. So I worked on Wall Street, and it was just, my wife and I had made the decision. I traveled a lot. I was never home. I wanted to be basically, home and involved in my kid's life. It was very important to me. So since then, I've been, I've had a cleaning company that did relatively well. I had 50 plus employees with it. I sold that in 2012. I had an online company where we drop shipped 200,000 products throughout the country. It was an office supply store. Sold that in 2013. Had a software business that I started right after that. And, I've learned a lot throughout the process, but it was something, to be honest, it was never really close to my heart, right? Cleaning people's homes and, you're cleaning people's homes, right? I wasn't changing the world. Drop shipping, office supplies, I wasn't changing the world. My last software company, it was, a Twitter tool. I wasn't changing the world. I've always been passionate about children and teenagers. I believe our education system, I think teachers are doing all they can, but we're pushing kids through the system right now and teaching them stuff that really isn't applicable to life. So when my software company, the investors pulled the plug back, I'm going to say 18 months ago. Since then, I've decided whatever venture I was going to start, it had to be something that was close to my heart. That was the most important thing. So in trying to look at how I could tackle this problem of, what's going on in education, but at the same time, what would be something that mom and dad are willing to pay for, right? No parent wants to be told, especially for a teenager, how to parent, right? They just don't care about that. But at the end of the day, I believe EQ is just as important, emotional intelligence, as IQ. And we don't focus enough on that. And so I believe when a child, a teen, or even adult, when we help somebody other than ourselves, such as a nonprofit, not only are we helping them, but we're really helping ourselves tremendously. So what I did is I created a 10-week program. The name of the company is called helpateen.com. And what we do is we walk teens through a 10-week process where they're partnered up with a nonprofit that's close to them. So it's got to be something that they believe in. It could be maybe teen suicide. It could be, maybe they lost a grandparent that had, ALS or Alzheimer's or what have you, cancer, homelessness, hunger. I have a child I've working with recently that was very important to them. So anyway, match them up with something that burns them up on the inside, and then walk them through a process on how to drive awareness for that nonprofit. But as they're doing that for the next 10 weeks, they're actually learning all these soft skills that they'll now be able to use in real life that isn't being taught in the education system. So to our moms and dads that buy this, they think it's awesome because it makes them look great to colleges, it makes them look good to future employers. But at the end of the day, I'm also solving what I want, which is really making sure that our children learn these soft skills that need to be learned, while at the same time doing good for the local community, which is a skill that they can carry throughout the rest of their life.
Now, this is outstanding, and you shared a little bit before we came on, and just going back a little bit, my big connection with you is with the software company, and the amazing way you were able to make connections with using Twitter, and just this concept right now. You're making connections of people, and you're taking some of the missing parts that don't get focused on in school, and connecting kids with different types of programs and really making them better people. The things that it's not the book and the tests in school, but it's real life activity and how they're perceived really in the real world, and putting them in the right track, right frame of mind for being involved and bettering themselves.
Yeah, and it's, how to use social media for good. Everybody's online bashing kids who are on TikTok or whatever social app they're on of today. But the reality is, I tell parents and all that, don't try to prevent your kids from it. Let's just show them how to use it appropriately and how to do good with it, right? Let's teach them that it's not sometimes what you know, memorizing that book, but who you know, right? Our network is our net worth, as Jim Rohn says, right? So when they go through this 10-week program, what they're really doing is learning to connect with the local media, with local influencers, with local corporations. But at the end of each week, I'm tying it in saying, now, you learned all this. You helped a nonprofit this way. But did you realize that when this happens to you in your future in life, and when X happens to you, that skill that you just learned, you're going to apply this in the future? And now they're like, the aha moment, right? And so, think about us as adults. If I know I want to work at, I don't know, Coca-Cola in Atlanta, right? It would make sense for me for 6 months before, if I know that's my goal, to go onto LinkedIn and start connecting with everybody at Coca-Cola, to start sharing their content, to start engaging with them on LinkedIn. Every time they make a post, leave a comment. Really build that sincere relationship. 6 months later, when I have that interview at Coca-Cola, I can reach out and say, hey, I'm going to be meeting with Sally over in HR. I've got an interview there. Any advice for me? You know what that individual is going to do? Not only will they give me advice, they're going to say, hold on a minute. They're going to walk down the hall and tell Sally, hey, Mike's coming in for an interview. Hire him. That's what I want to teach kids. That is it. It's stuff that just isn't taught. So yeah, super excited about it.
And it's in most schools, they're not even worried about that. Unfortunately, they're not worried about it. They're trying to gain them out and get them the degree, and the degree is going to get you to that next step. But it's teaching those skills of how to work in today's world, because today's world just keeps changing every day, and knowing how to navigate online and communicate with people the way that they're communicating is such a valuable tool. Adults need to learn and to find opportunities to be taught this, but to teach a teenager now, as everything evolves with them, I think this is absolutely incredible.
And the gig economy, the reality is when you look at statistics, more people are headed into the gig economy than ever before. And all of our children definitely will be at some way or another in the gig economy. And what the gig economy is you're out there, you have to know how to promote yourself. If you don't know how to use social media for good, if you don't know how to go out on and use, the power of email and what have you, and picking up the phone in your network, in the gig economy, you're not going to make it. You see, the way the corporate structure was before, more corporations are outsourcing than ever before, and they're utilizing people on a part-time basis, right? And so we need to be, as adults, learning it, but definitely our kids need to understand how to survive and thrive in the future gig economy, I think.
And it makes a whole bunch of sense. It's just giving them the right tools to succeed. It's great that you learned biology and math. You may use more than math than the biology unless you're going into STEM, and that's anyone that goes into different types of STEM focuses is a great use of the time you spend in school, and you'll do great things. But most people aren't going to do that, and these are the tools you need. You need to be able to know how to use the keyboard the right way, and present yourself the right way in doing that, and making sure your grammar is right, and people read into words differently than when it's being spoken. So you have to understand what you're typing so that people aren't misunderstanding the statements you're trying to make.
We even had to use it's funny, I was talking to a group of kids recently who were like, well, why do I need to know that when I could just go and Google it? And I was like, okay. I was like, do you know how to use Google efficiently? And, of course they look at me puzzled. So I was like, well, let me ask a question. If you had to do a search for bass fish and you didn't want to pull up bass guitar, how would you do that search? And they were dumbfounded. So, I explained to him how to use the negative and how to really, show the results that quickly, right? And so, even things like that, that's, as adults, most adults don't know how to use that, right? But we're not teaching our children how to use technology so is that it can reward them the way that technology was designed to do, right? And so, this is super exciting.
And it really is. And of course, it makes me think how some of these kids would handle the Dewey Decimal System for some of the research that we might have needed to do with some of our papers. And just Google it is a whole very different concept.
Exactly.
So let me ask you this. The question I've been asking everyone is, what is your number one strategy that you are using for yourself and your clients that's really working well to achieve marketing goals?
Yeah, so for me, I've always used a 4-step system. So again, I shared before, it doesn't matter if I'm online or offline, a service-based business, if I'm selling a product, I look at 4 things in every business, and that's how am I going to get traffic? How do I activate that traffic? Once I get that traffic and they become a customer, how do I over delight and service that customer? And then the 4th thing is so important. I think a lot of businesses don't look at this, is how can I create virality or word of mouth so is that when that happens, it sends me back more traffic, right? And so that's product. Some people like to call it in the marketing world, or growth hackers, product driven growth. But I think we can all build that. It doesn't matter if somebody walks into your store, if you're listening to this and you have a storefront, if you have a business, we online, we can all build virality into our product or the service that we offer. So for me, what do I focus on? I always look at those 4 different things. So for traffic right now, I find a lot of value in LinkedIn. I spend a lot of time on LinkedIn. It sends me a lot of traffic. I spend a lot of time on Twitter. That's all sending me traffic. But it's like, when I get that traffic, what am I going to do with that traffic? Well, it needs to be activated. So I still am a big believer in, not sending them a 50-page ebook that they're not going to read, but, send them something that's really going to change their life, that could be impactful. Maybe it's a 1-page cheat sheet of some type of sort. So something that could help. With my Help a Teen, I send a 1-page outline. I say, hey, do this with your child. And if you want to do it as the parent, do it. If you want to give it to your child, or option number 3, we'll do it with your child. Your choice. But so it's like super impactful. But once they become a customer for us, on our thank you page, what are we doing? We have a unique URL, so that parent gets $50 back, but they can also send that $50 to a friend of theirs, because no child wants to do something by themselves. They want to do it with their buddy, right? So now I created that viral loop in there, which is number 4. It's going to send me more traffic. I'm going to activate it. They're going to become a customer, and then they're going to refer somebody, and it's that loop, right? And so I think as entrepreneurs in any type of business, we always need to focus on those 4 things, and then constantly every Friday go back and look at it and say, where am I doing well? What's worked? And where can I make some adjustments? And constantly be tweaking it and always looking to improve.
That's outstanding. And that whole concept of the loop of business begetting business is people should steal that. That's all I have to say. That's a great way to keep the circle of business flowing.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So what is the best way for people to get in contact to learn more about the program and how this could help their team?
Yeah, I appreciate that. So whether you have a teen, or you know of a teen, or hey, if you know of a local nonprofit that you want to drive awareness for, reach out to me either on LinkedIn. I'm sure on your show notes page, you can just link to me, please, on LinkedIn. Or on Twitter. I'm very active there. I respond to everybody always. So, either one of those 2 things, you can visit helpateen.com. That's the website, but connect with me. I believe as humans, it's all about connection. So I'd much rather, have a conversation on Twitter, have a conversation on LinkedIn, whatever's best for you. But, let's go there. I think that would be best.
And that's fantastic. And you see Mike's information below, and please reach out to him. He's really a fantastic guy, and this program is outstanding. I think he's really going to, it's one of these let's change the world type of program. So Mike, congratulations on,
thank you.
Should be a great success to add to your other successes. And thank you so much for joining us.
For having me. Take care.
And thank you everyone for joining us as well. I hope you really gained a tremendous amount from Mike, and we look forward to sharing more Marketing Mavens with you as the days go forward. Again, thank you, and we will see you soon.